Hello guys, and I thought I would make a video showing you the process I use to paint this wren on a branch, hanging off a branch, using the alla prima technique and negative painting, having fun with your painting and ensuring that the process is as fun as it can be for you. I'll be demonstrating how I do it, and if this is any help to you, then you can use it in your practice. You can even use this as a reference if you really want to. That's absolutely fine. So I've done half of the painting. I've done the bird on. This is a wren bird, a traditional brown bird you can find here in the UK, hanging off a branch. It's always good to remember that you need to keep in mind values and colour theory. Any extra knowledge after that is a bonus, and you can use those as tools at the back of your head to complete the painting. So I'm just going to show you how I do it. I hope this view is ideal for you guys. If I show it on the left hand side, there's too much glare. So I hope this view will be okay for this demonstration. But as you can see, I've pretty much finished painting the bird using heavy brush strokes with this synthetic acrylic brush. I prefer this because it almost mimics a palette knife if you use it very thinly, so I like to have that as a feature, and it's something quite unique in my work, and I don't know if I'll continue using it. Most likely I will, but I just want to show you, like, I'm just applying these broad brush strokes, not giving too much attention to colours, to be honest. Kind of picking up whatever colour I feel that's right for the painting. Again, bearing in mind values, so there'll be more of a lighter side towards the head, and the body will remain in the darkest value. For the way I paint, anyway. I mean, this is just a demonstration of how I paint a wren. So, like I said, the wren is pretty much almost done. The simpler you keep it, the simplicity tends to win in most cases. I'm not going for ultra realism. I've never been interested in realism, even getting into painting at a younger age. I never thought I would be like a Bob Ross or a hyper-realist painter. I don't think Bob Ross is even realism. I think that's more impressionist. I don't know. Discuss in comments below. I don't know. I tend to do more research in the more like your traditional artists that you learn about in school. So your the famous impressionists, the post-impressionists, and I tend to pay attention to all the artists that tend to have made it, who are prolific in their work, is the artists I only pay attention to. The rest can, they have their own, somebody else can pay attention to them, but I certainly am not. But yeah, I'm just going to complete this wren. So what I'm doing is I'm completing the main subject of the painting, so that's the bird and the leaves. And once I do that, I'll show you what I do next. I really enjoy painting wrens and robins. I think they're so much fun, and I see them pretty much every day in the UK. They come to my in the back garden. You can see them, so it's quite inspiring, and I have like loads of primary references of them. And I think that's why I paint them, because I've seen so many, and I understand the form, right? The form of that they take. But just enjoying every brush stroke, like so. I might go in with the eye, so that's just a black dot, which I'm going to place just there. Small birds tend to have larger eyes. If you wanna show that a bird is quite small, you want to give them a larger eye. That's another tip for you as well. There you go. I don't want to overthink the main subject as well. I want to keep it as loose as I can. So, you know, with practice, you will kind of gauge of when to stop. Probably there, I think I'll be overdoing it. But as long as I have the outline in there, then we're good. And this is the fun part, because I've done most of my foliage here, or the branch, or the leaves, which are dangling off this tree. I might want to emphasize the areas of contrast, or just rather emphasize create more of a contrast. Because contrast always looks good in a painting, but you kind of want to know where things go. At this point, I might ditch this brush. It's not doing me any justice. I need something a bit more heavy duty. I'm going to go for a traditional hog bristle. I hope you can see that. It's just a traditional hog bristle. And there we go. Just have some fun. It will come together towards the end. So until then, I'm just having fun with it and kind of going with the flow. And this is why you should aim to have some fun with your paintings and not worry too much. Especially with this technique, it's because it's almost well, it is intuitive. You can kind of get away with a lot more. But make sure you're having fun, because I find that people can see whether you've enjoyed a painting or not. You know, energetically, people can sense whether a painting has, you know, if you're completely satisfied with it, or if you've really enjoyed the process. You know, people can sense that. So you want to have fun and not attach yourself too much to the end result. For the background, I'm going to go in with the blue, because it's differentiates from the green and the brown. It's a different colour. I could use a pink if I wanted to. In this case, I'm just thinking between a pale pink or a pale blue. I might go for a blue. A blue seems a bit more appropriate. Like again, I'm not paying too much attention. If I wasn't filming this, I'll be in this process much quickly, or rather, I would make the decision a bit more quickly and a bit more. I guess because I have my attention elsewhere at the moment, demonstrating my process, which is not something I normally do. So, bear with me. So you can see I'm using a lot of paint, making sure it's well incorporated. I'm going to leave the outline for now, kind of work around it. And this is the part I call negative painting, or what it's known as. Just going to chip away at these leaves, to give the impression that it's a bunch of leaves rather than a big blob of greens. I'm using a canvas board. I'm not using stretched canvas. I do use stretched canvas, just in this case I'm not using it. There's nothing wrong with canvas board or stretched canvas. They both, as long as they're both primed pretty well, you're good to go. I think even if you prime like good quality paper, you can get away with oil painting on that, but I've not tried that, but in theory, I think that would work. It may not be archival. It may not be archival, though, so don't take my word for it. I do get asked, about whether a painting is archival. I'm like, can I be honest with you? Like, it's gonna last the next 100 years in the condition it is. So, what does it matter if it's not archival after that? Like, let the conservationist take care of that. If that's what they're called, I don't even know. Let the galleries take care of that. And for that reason, I don't really varnish. I don't think there's much point to it because I'm producing work on very regularly. Like, it would just take up a lot of time, and I think my paintings, because of the texture, they look as if they are varnished because there's a bit of a sheen to it. So it's not hugely important. But yeah, back to the process. I'm just now going in with the outlines, kind of determining how this bird sits on the tree. The great thing about painting, negative painting, is if you don't like an area, you can literally just get rid of it. I love this technique. I really enjoy it, and it's something that I've been experimenting with a lot more. My work just continues to evolve. It's crazy. Like, if you saw how I was painting only like 5 months ago, you'll be shocked at how there's barely any texture on it. Yeah, but I hope I'm making sense. Like I said, if you have any questions, do let me know. So I'm going to assume that there's more light coming from this side, so I'm just going to be a bit more dramatic with these brush strokes. This is not for the faint of heart. If you're worried about wasting paint, please bear in mind that this technique will completely terrify you, because you will use a lot of paint. But it's very rewarding. I think you'll know if this technique will work for you. I think you'll know what to expect if you do paint this way. You will kind of figure it out yourself. But I think I'm done with that aspect of the painting. I'm just going to go in with my smaller brush. I try to use these tissues as much as I can, because I know it's very wasteful. But I do try to make sure I use as much of the tissue as I can before I get rid of them, because I'm very environmentally conscious about its disposal. Now, because I'm not using any solvents, it's not like I have to worry too much about fires, because apparently if you keep piling on tissues laden with oil, you are likely to cause a fire if there's any solvent-ridden rags on top of that, and if it starts generating heat. Whereas in this case, there's no risk of that, because the medium is simply just linseed oil, and that's it. And you can go back in painting the bird. Like, you can it's just going with the flow, really. Like, there's no rules. If you feel like you need to change things, then it's not the end of the world if you have to change something. Don't sweat the small stuff. Just get on with it and enjoy the process. And everything just tends to figure itself out. Like I said, as long as the contrast is there, you're good to go. I like to mix my blacks with some violets or some blues, just to give it a bit more depth where needed. And I don't teach this stuff, by the way, so this is just like just a video on some tips on painting alla prima. I've not started teaching yet, but it's something that I might be interested in doing. I don't know whether it's something I want to pursue right now, but definitely in the future at some point. So I think this is pretty much done. I'm going to go in with the lightest parts of the painting, so maybe the top of the wren's head, like so. And you can go in with a more contrast, go aim for more contrast by bringing in some darks into this area. Again, make sure you're loose with the whole paint. If loose is your style, painting loose, you want to make sure you maintain that, because as soon as you start getting too detailed about things, this is very weird. You put yourself in the in the realist category, because it looks like you're trying to shoot for something. Like, you're trying to go for realism, because there's bigger brush strokes and there's smaller brush strokes and there's tiny brush strokes. Whereas if it's a loose painting, you'll notice that there's consistency in the way you've painted across the whole painting. So as soon as you get too detailed, you lose the impressionist loose style painting effect. And you don't want to do that, because in some cases you could ruin your painting that way. It'll look off. It will ultimately just look a bit off if you start dabbling with traits from different movements, like Fauvism, realism. Yeah, I'm sure you get the idea, but I can make another video on that if you want me to. So like if you intend to paint loose, then make sure you stick to that. Is what I'm saying. There we go. I might implement a few more brush strokes. Push some more paint around. Like I said, because this is a demonstration, I'm a bit more slow, but usually I would have completed this because I really get into it, which is good to do. You know, really getting involved with the painting. And I'm going to use this brush to sign it in a classic red, or I mean I use red anyway. This is cadmium red. And there we have it, a wren on a tree branch. Yeah, so let me know if you have any questions. This painting will be available for sale on eBay, and the auctions start at just 99 cents. I'm trying to paint every day, and the only way to get rid of those paintings and enable me to keep painting is if I sell those paintings. And the best way for me to do that is through auctions, which are working very well for me. So I would appreciate if you have a visit, but you don't have to. You can take what you want from this video and learn to paint this way or not. Totally up to you. Let me know if this was useful, and I'll be happy to produce more demonstrations like this for you. Yeah. So thanks for watching.